Hello, this is Solomon Davis, Right Side Trader. Today is September 25th, 2024, and this is my week. No, it's not a weekly. This is just a midweek review. This is all for educational purposes only, no trade recommendation, because as we all know, trading is risky. You can lose money at trading. So please check with your financial advisor. Please check with your significant other and make sure trading is something that is suitable for you. I'm going to be looking at, this is something new. If you guys have been following me, know I haven't done this, before. But what I'm going to be looking at, I'm at the end of the month, end of the quarter, and September was one of these months that we was kind of expecting a downpull, based on other things that Wally does at Right Side Trading, quantitative analysis and all. Usually in the month of September we get a drop. This September we really haven't gotten a significant drop that we was looking for. But the thing is it still in play? What's going on? And let's see what we see. Again, like I say, this is all for educational purposes only, no trade recommendation. Please check with your financial advisor. Please check with your significant other and make sure trading is something that is suitable for you. All right, let's jump over to the chart. Now I'll be looking at a daily chart and a weekly chart only. I'm going to go ahead and maximize the weekly chart first, and let's just take a quick look at the big picture and see what we see. And I didn't resize this yet. I'll resize it now. Always go to this. I don't know why I have a problem doing this all the time. And you bring it to about right here, I believe. All right, on this weekly chart on the Qs, we can see the Qs are still green this week. This is the current week, and it's still looking very bullish, like it still wants to go up. And these are on my weekly chart. I have monthly pivots. And we're getting close to the end of the month. We're doing exactly what I expect us to do on these particular pivots and on this particular chart. We're staying above pivot. We're getting still close to the supply, and we're going to have a hard time breaking the supply. I don't expect us now, definitely not now, unless something really crazy happens, if we're going to actually hit this, R1 level. So that's what I see there. Let's go down to the SPY and zoom in a little bit here on the SPY. Zoom, zoom, zoom. The SPY is doing like it made a new high last week. This week we're forming a doji at this time above here, but we are green, and that's the whole thing. And the SPY is kind of doing what I expected to do, and basically looking at the charts, we had a piercing pattern at the top a couple of weeks ago. We actually got confirmation of that piercing pattern and made new highs. And right now we're trading just below that high. And that's just what I see. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the Russell. On the Russell, zoom, 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 zoom here on the Russell. The Russell is the only one that's showing some kind of weakness and all. The Russell is actually red this week. It's actually making a piercing pattern look like at this time at a top. And that's the thing. The Russell, I was like, pop the top or drop. It's definitely trying to drop. The Russell is the weaker of these indexes and all that I'm looking at. And it hasn't got anywhere close to its previous week high. It's forming a lower high, but it hasn't formed a lower low yet. It is still staying above the monthly pivot. It's staying within this range that I kind of expected to stay in. And then the thing is, with the Russell come, next week, next month, it's going to be next week sometime, then the Russell may have a chance to see if it's going to turn around or if it's going to give us a commitment to the downside. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the Dow and see what we see there on the weekly chart. On the Dow, zoom, 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 the Dow is also red. So we got 2 red and 2 green on these indexes, looking at these indexes. But the Dow was one of the ones that was showing being very bullish and fighting, had made a new high this week too already, but it has also pulled back at this time. But now let's go down to the daily charts and take a quick look at the daily charts and see what we see there. And on the daily chart on the Qs has been the one that's really been kind of funny to me. And what it's doing, it's been kind of going sideways up here at the top. It got up here at the top, it made a lower high, lower low, and then it made a higher low, higher high, and now it made some kind of funny look. It's been making these crazy dojis up here, like it's fighting not to go down. That's the way I look at it. Some people can say it's fighting not to go up. It's all based on how you want to look at this thing right here, right now. But this is the crazy crap that's going on the Qs. Me and another guy, we like trading the Qs and stuff, and it's been some good scalping and stuff with the stuff that's going on intraday and all. But one of the things that he brought up, anybody who bought any long options, if you bought calls or you bought puts, with the market doing what it's doing, just going sideways, that theta decay is killing you. Volatility in the market is also probably coming out. That's killing you on your long options and all. And I was telling them, I said, yeah, those people who sold those options, they're definitely making the money at this time. You're not making, the people who bought those options are not making the money at this time. That's why, again, it gets, when you're dealing with options, it's hard to call direction. Sometimes it's a little easier to say it's not going to go below here and it's not going to go above there. No trade recommendation, but that's just an observation that we're actually seeing at this time. So let's go ahead and go down to the SPY and see what we see there. On the SPY, you see about the same thing. They stand again above pivot and below an R1 level. It made a couple dojis. It was making higher lows, higher highs, and it made a higher low, but it had made a lower low. But now this day, and we actually got a higher low and a higher high, even though it's red, and it still is having a hard time breaking that previous week high that we had, But it is trying to make higher highs, so you got to be cautious about that. It's still having a hard time to look like it wants to roll over. But again, with this two candle pattern right here, you can say, okay, we got a little redness today, will we get any follow through on this come tomorrow and the rest of the week? But still, based on the way I look at things, I don't see it coming back down below pivot here, but you also have a gap down here that it may want to come down here and fill. And is that going to happen before the end of the month? That's the question. If we end up still continuing doing this sideways type action, we come next month and next week with these weekly pivots. I'm looking at a daily chart. We might end up opening below pivot, and then come 1st of October, we might end up getting that drop and coming down here and filling this gap that we see. But let's go ahead and go down to the Russell and see what we see there on the daily chart. On the Russell is the only one that seems like it is got a commitment to the downside, although it's been kind of slow. But that's how the Russell actually moves a lot of times. And you very seldom you see what it did over here before. On this daily chart right here, you can see how we had high selling pressure, high pressure pushing this thing back down. It gapped up again. It gapped up on you, made a doji at the top, and ever since then it's been making lower highs and lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. I can definitely see it coming down here to at a support one, maybe bouncing, or it may decide to come all the way down here and try to close this bigger gap that it has down here. But that's what I see there. But let's go ahead and wrap this on up and take a quick look at the Dow, and that'll be it. On the Dow was one of the ones at one time I thought it was pretty hot. The way it came out of here, broke its high, and it was making highs. Then it got kind of, okay, what were you going to do? This was option expiration. That's what this line, or future contract expiration. I don't know which one I actually have on. It's an expiration date, and this was this expiration date. No, and it didn't give you that commitment that followed through to the downside. It was a green candle. Anyway, you would like to have that been a red candle, and then the next day we ended up getting these gapping up, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. We got a higher high, but come today, this thing is really kind of selling off. So but again, we're at the top. It made a new high, and the selling pressure came in again, pushing it back down below pivot. But will it, by the end of the week, come Friday, will it reverse and get back above pivot? That's the question now. Or will it come down here to a support one level, at least come down here and fill this gap before it actually reverses back up? Or will we actually finally get that commitment to the downside and see this thing really drop on us? And that's about it. That's all I really want to share at this time. This is Solomon, Right Side Trader. Hope you having a great week, and I'll talk to you this weekend. Have a good one. Bye.